Hey everybody, John here. So, it's been a long time since I've been really excited about making a video. And, I have made videos, I've just churned them out, but I'm really excited to discuss with you my new Safariland ALS holster. And the reason is because I have spent the last 3 years looking for a holster that met all of my needs and wasn't a complete piece of crap. And the Safariland ALS, as I said, does exactly what I wanted to do, and it does a lot more, and it does stuff that I didn't even expect. So, that being the case, I'm not going to do your typical review like most people do, because let's face it, there's probably 50 other videos out there right now of people discussing holsters to a great degree, and there you go. Go check those videos out if you want a full-on review. What I'm going to do is give you some quick ideas as far as why I went with this and what I didn't like about the other stuff. That being the case, the alien gear shape setup, those holsters are like the erector set of the whole holster community. There are so many pieces and so many parts and so many little things that you could drop. Plus the instructions looked like a real nightmare, and I didn't want to get involved in that. I just wanted a holster that I could put my weapon in and know that it was there. What else? The blade tech was what I had. And let's look at that. So I got my belt here. My belt is off my body. So this is my old blade tech. And let's talk about the way it was before. And you can see we're getting a lot of this. That's crap. That's unreliable. That means your weapon is shifting around as you're bending over, all this kind of stuff. So I wasn't happy about that. Plus, if you notice, the weapon is slightly canted. And I didn't want that either, because in my last video about I hate my holster, it still sucks, or I think it was titled something like that, I talked about how the weapon is positioned such that you've got to be hunched over to actually have a good draw. So I hate this holster, all right? This holster was such a piece of crap that I actually chose not to wear my Glock because of this holster. So the blade tech thing, whatever this is, if you want this, send me the postage and I will send this to whoever does that. Anyway, who else makes a holster? There's one, it's God, I can't remember the name right now. Oh, it's the Blackhawk Holster. That's right. Let's talk about that piece of crap. Okay? So, the thing I wanted about my holster was I wanted it locked in place so I could, jump around or have the thing fall or, fall with the thing on me and not have the weapon come out of the holster. If you remember, look at this piece of Blade Tech crap. It's just friction that held the weapon in there. So there was no mechanical locking. That's okay, I guess, if you're going to stand upright and walk around slowly. But I wanted something that locked the weapon in. Now, that Blackhawk thing has a release mechanism right here. All right? So as you're drawing the weapon, weapon's clear. As you are drawing the weapon, in order to get it out of the holster, your finger has to actuate that locking mechanism. And the funny thing is, go on YouTube, which you already are. Now, look at Blackhawk Holsters Shoot Yourself, okay? And what happens is, as the people are drawing the weapon, and like the clawing action of bringing the weapon out, releasing the lock, it then puts the finger right there where you don't want to be, and there are heaps of videos of people shooting themselves in the ass with the Blackhawk holster. Okay? So that's one of the reasons I went with the Safariland, is because it has the thumb lock, and when you go to draw the weapon, you get the natural position of your thumb over the lock. Now, the next thing is, going back to the alien gear holster and how that is like a complete complete confusing piece of crap as far as too many parts and too many little pieces and stuff. I wanted a holster that I could disconnect from my body easily and quickly and move to a different location. Meaning, if I'm sitting in the vehicle, I want to be able to put my weapon above me maybe, or to the side, or maybe even have it on the door. And the Safariland has the QLS system. So I can take this plate and attach it, as I said, I can attach it to the door, I can attach it to the console between the seats, I can attach it up above. Because we live in an RV, I can attach it to the cabinet next to the bed. I can put this plate, or a copy of this plate, anywhere I want in the RV, and I can have the weapon on me, take the weapon off, loaded, and yet locked up. I can take it off, and I can put it on the cabinet, I can put it on the door, I can put it behind the seat in the QLS mount that I've put there prior. Make sense? So that was a big thing of interest. Now, the other thing was, this thing's pretty adjustable here as far as the cant goes. The thing I wanted, and the thing I mentioned in my last video, was I wanted the weapon to hang pretty much straight up and down. The Blade Tech holster has the weapon this way, I think, because they assume that you're going to wear it in the 4 o'clock position. I like to wear my weapon in the 3 o'clock position. So a good, proper draw for me is to have the weapon perpendicular to the ground. Now, the back end of the QLS system, again, allows for more adjustment. Okay, so there's that. Now, all these things are pretty much things that you would already find in somebody else's video. Okay? Let's bring back the belt. Now, before I do this, because it's a real bear, this thing, the belt clip, is not easy to get off. You've got to push up on that and pull out on the other thing, and then it'll come off your belt. But if the weapon is on your body, it takes a little effort to undo this. Thus, again, the QLS system allows you to, okay, I can take my weapon off. If I'm going into a store that's got that big nasty sign that says I'm going to be unprotected in there, I can take the weapon off just by doing that and not having to take the thing off of my belt. Again, the other thing is, if I need to hand this weapon to somebody, I can do so. And as I alluded to initially a minute ago, I wanted to be able to move the weapon around confidently while it was hot, while I had a magazine in and a bullet in the chamber, and not have to take the weapon out of the holster and move it somewhere else and put it in another holster, a bag, a pouch, what have you. Because in my mind, that is when, God forbid, but that is when something will happen. So, getting back to this. Now, here's the cool thing that I didn't see on anybody else's videos, and if I had known this, I would have bought this holster 3 years ago and would have paid essentially any price. Now, as I showed you before, the Blade Tech holster rotated on the belt. And the reason was because, if you look, see that right in there? There's no way to adjust the size of the belt that this thing accommodates. The Safariland holster and the instructions that come with the holster don't really describe what you're looking at, so it takes a little time and thought to figure it out. But do you see this bar right here? Right there. See that bar right there? That's adjustable. When it comes from the factory, the bar is down flush with this other surface. But you can unhook it and move it up and down. This is to accommodate exactly the width of your belt. So in my case, you can see that it is now locked in there. There's no rotation really at all. I mean, Okay, there's a little rotation, and so don't give me crap about that. But compared to the Blade Tech, this thing is a lot superior. And it's a lot tighter with regards to sliding up and down. I think if I really want to get crazy anal about it, you could probably put a rubber band around this, and that would give you a little more traction back and forth. But when I was wearing the weapon on this new holster earlier, there was no problem with it shifting around. Anyway, so as I said, the ability for this thing to adjust to the width of my belt is a characteristic that I did not find in any other holster. Blade Tech, Blackhawk, Alien Gear were the ones that I primarily looked at. So I didn't find this in any other holster, and this is a characteristic that I really wanted. And as I said, I would have bought this holster 3.5 years ago easy if I had known it was doing that. Anyway, that's my video. If you have any questions or comments about this holster, do me a favor, leave them down below, and do me a favor and subscribe, and we'll talk to you later. Shelka04 out. Thanks. Bye.